It's the book club, and this time we're checking out the follow-up to a smash hit. This is The Unworthy by Augustina Bazterrica. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, and this is a place where normally I talk to you about Stephen King, but in this spin-off series I recommend great books to you. Yes, this is the book club where I tell you about some of the books that I've enjoyed reading recently that I think you will too. And in each episode I will give you a synopsis of the book in question, a bit about the author, a spoiler-free review, and I will try and align it to a Stephen King book because this channel started life as a Stephen King channel and is often a useful point of reference to help you decide if you want to go and check this particular book out. And if you do check it out and you enjoy it, don't forget to leave your own reviews and ratings of it on Goodreads and on Amazon and other places. And, well, don't forget to rave about it to your own social media followers as well, so they might go and check it out themselves. All sound good? Cool. So before we get into this episode, a couple of very quick plugs. So in the description you'll find a bunch of links to different things that I have going on, including my own collection of short horror stories, Once More Around the Sun, which won some awards in 2024. There's a train going past. Train! Right as I start recording, as usual. You can also check out my range of Stephen King themed band shirts, which is band logos mixed up with Stephen King stuff. And if you like what I'm doing on this channel, you can become a constant viewer, you can become a member of this channel, get exclusive content, support me directly, all of that kind of stuff. Links for all of those are in the description. So this time we're covering a new novel from Augustina Bazterrica, who was a global smash a couple of years ago with her release Tender is the Flesh. This new one is called The Unworthy. It's out on the 13th of March 2025. Let's get into it, shall we? So here's a synopsis for The Unworthy. The long-awaited new novel from the author of global sensation Tender is the Flesh, a thrilling work of literary horror about a woman cloistered in a secretive, violent religious order, while outside, the world has fallen into chaos. From her cell in a mysterious convent, a woman writes the story of her life in whatever she can find, discarded ink, dirt, and even her own blood. A lower member of the sacred sisterhood, deemed an unworthy, she dreams of ascending to the ranks of the enlightened at the centre of the convent and of pleasing the foreboding superior sister. Outside, the world is plagued by catastrophe. Cities are submerged underwater, electricity and the internet are non-existent, and bands of survivors fight and forage in a cruel, barren landscape. Inside, the narrator is controlled, punished, but safe. But when a stranger makes her way past the convent walls, joining the ranks of the unworthy, she forces the narrator to consider her long-buried past and what she may be overlooking about the enlightened. As the two women grow closer, the narrator is increasingly haunted by questions about her own past, the environmental future, and her present life inside the convent. How did she get to the sacred sisterhood? Why can't she remember her life before? And what really happens when a woman is chosen as one of the enlightened? A searing dystopian tale about climate crisis, ideological extremism, and the tidal pull of our most violent exploitative instincts. This is another unforgettable novel from a master of feminist horror. And here's a bit about the author. So, Augustina Bazterrica, born in Buenos Aires in 1974, has a degree in arts from the University of Buenos Aires and works as a cultural manager and jury member in various literary contests. She's the author of the short story collection 19 Claws and a Black Bird and the novels Mata a Niña and Tender is the Flesh, the latter of which was awarded the Clarin Novel Prize. Tender is the Flesh established Bazterrica as a best-selling author worldwide with translations into 30 languages and 500,000 copies sold in English alone. Tender is the Flesh is currently being adapted for television. Her latest novel, The Unworthy, was published in Spanish in 2023 and received the same enthusiastic reception as Tender is the Flesh, affirming Bazterrica's status as a prominent author in contemporary literature. So there's your background. Let's get into my spoiler-free review of The Unworthy. So I'm honestly kind of stumped how to sum up this one because I sort of equal part liked it and didn't like it. I would flick from loving bits of this to becoming incredibly frustrated. But I did read all the way to the end and I was satisfied when I got there. Satisfied enough to bring it to you here in the book club, because I think plenty of you will get something from it. So given the success of Tender is the Flesh, there's going to be loads of hype around this as the follow-up. And inevitably, that hype, well, it's never going to live up to that hype, is it? For me, Tender as the Flesh didn't really connect with me that much, so I was just interested to see what this author did next and see if she might produce something that I did enjoy a bit more. So the setting here is fantastic. This dark, secretive convent for women set against the backdrop of this ecological crisis. And it just, even though people are safe, it doesn't seem like that safe a place. We've got this secretive hierarchy within the sacred sisterhood. We don't really know what the unworthy are, what the enlightened are. And our narrator is an unworthy. And she's desperate to be an enlightened. But being an unworthy, it does mean that she gets to keep her own tongue, which is kind of a good thing, I guess. So at this sort of refuge, the women there eat food that is basically made out of crushed insects, like bread made from grasshopper flour, for example. They regularly have to offer personal sacrifices, and generally it just kind of sounds all kinds of awful. And then, as was detailed in the synopsis, a newcomer arrives, and things become even less comfortable. So the writing style here is something that takes a bit of getting used to. It's basically presented as a secret diary stream of consciousness that is written here, there, and everywhere. And often sentences will just stop, seemingly because the writer has been interrupted, or things will be crossed out, and then the timeline will just jump forward a few days without any real obvious breaks. Now, I admire the dedication to the cause here, but at the same time, some chapters, or something resembling chapters, would have been nice. Now, even though I do have a few parts of the book that frustrated me, when it's good, it's really good. And there are some really gnarly descriptions at different points here. There is a scene involving a rat that will just haunt me forever. And some of it's just nasty and fun. Like the actual opening of the book, where we get the narrator talking about how she's put cockroaches in the pillow of her enemy. Just really fun and really sets you up and hooks you in right from the very start. I also really enjoyed that the climate crisis that is going on outside the walls of this convent is basically hinted at that it was brought on by AI, and sort of suggests that AI sort of took over our lives, got to the point of no return, and then just let nature do its thing. And, well, maybe people should listen to that, if nothing else from this book. So comparing this to a Stephen King book is not particularly easy. I guess there is some shared DNA with the Institute, with this idea of like a place where people are gathered and there is a ranking and a hierarchy there, and it's not a particularly nice place to be in. But actually, if anything, it's more like if Bachman had written a feminist book. Maybe Claudia Inez Bachman, perhaps this is the kind of thing she might have written. So to sum up, I largely did enjoy this story, with the caveat that some of the plot beats felt like things I had read more than once before. But the quality of the writing here really elevates it. Like, its prose is beautiful, and it is very much a lush read that is peppered with these really gross, dark, horrible moments. So I'm still not completely sold on this author, but I can see plenty of people enjoying this piece of work, and I'd definitely be keen to read her next one. And again, I definitely think it's good enough to bring here to the book club. So thank you to NetGalley and to the publishers for the advanced review copy. This one comes out this week as you're watching this video. It comes out on the 13th of March 2025. Unless you happen to know Spanish. I mean, I don't speak Spanish.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
But if you know Spanish, this has already been out for a couple of years, so go fill your boots. Vamos. Is that Spanish? Okay, there we go, another episode of the Book Club done. Do let me know what you think of The Sounds of the Unworthy. Are you going to check it out? And did you enjoy Tender as the Flesh? Let me know that as well. As I mentioned at the start, you can check out my collection, my range of t-shirts, you can become a member of this channel, all of those kind of things. If you're a Stephen King fan, there's literally hundreds of Stephen King videos here on this channel. Click around, you'll find something to watch. And, well, I guess I'll see you again soon, either in a few days for more Stephen King content, or if you're just here for the book club, well, I'll see you again next week, because I've got another one to recommend for you. Bye-bye.